Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. You've hit the spot. The place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Put your thinking caps on, because the conversation starts now.
Got into this little spat and she got mad. And I mean, she walked away, but she's like, Mom, I've never done that before.
Well, that's a perfect lead into where we're going here on the Edge, Brains. We're going to talk about relationships, how people treat one another. We're going to talk to Stephanie Castro in Arizona. Now, Brains, this is going to be a very interesting conversation because we want to know. There's a woman that is a survivor of domestic violence. She ends up falling in love and marrying a man that is incarcerated. Who does that? Why do they do that? How do they find the love? How do they find the synchronicity? How do they find trust? What goes in a conjugal visit? we're gonna ask her all that and then some. Because there's a lot. And again, I want people to listen to this interview from an educational standpoint, not a judgment. It's not your life. It's not your business. If you don't want to be with somebody that has a past, then you're going to end up by yourself because everybody got a past. Everybody got a story. But I'm going to go into it a little deep with Stephanie, and she said that she's going to be as open as she can. We're going to respect her privacy and her husband's privacy as much as we can. But again, we want to know. So let's welcome her to the Edge. How you doing, Steph Castro?
I'm fantastic.
Ooh, look at that.
Doing good.
I can see blue is your color. Why is blue your color?
Blue just makes me happy. It just gives me feelings of water and waves and the ocean, and I miss living by the ocean. And
I know you went out on hot, dry ass Arizona.
Oof. Yeah. In the middle of the desert. I mean, it couldn't even be someplace cool and beautiful like the mountains,
and the
desert.
thing is, it could be like it's hot there, but it's a dry heat. That's what they tell me. They say, "Oh, that's a dry heat." You go there and you go through the misters at the Starbucks. It's so hot.
It is, and it really difference just with dry heat is that that feeling when you are baking something and you open the oven and you realize you just got a little too close and that heat hits you right in the face and you feel it in your lungs. That's what it's like dead summer here, with 115, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 degrees.
Ouch. No.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, and don't be a woman of a particular age and have a menopausal hot flash. You mean to come out the ground on somebody and went asshole crazy on them. I get you.
Did it 5 years ago, went through it.
Wow. All right. So now let me ask you a question. Because I'm going to ask you, different questions at different times. But let's start with the body art. Tell me about the body art.
So my very first tattoo was a cat's face because my brother was going off to Desert Storm. And so he and I, we were just super close, and we wanted to do something that it was like, okay, you're leaving me, you're leaving. And so we decided to get tattoos together. Obviously not the same ones, but that weekend was the Thunderboat races down in Mission Bay. Okay. And he got a little too sunburned. So the guy wouldn't tattoo him, but I got mine. And so that's kind of where they started. And
did it become addicting?
100%. 100%. And I only had a few. And then during a particular relationship, which I'm sure we'll discuss, is the reason for some other ones. So, yeah.
So they basically tell a story.
They really do. They really, really do.
And it's a story that you will forever live with.
Very much.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. After seeing people, just this is me personally, Brains. Okay, so I have nothing to do with you. But after the Holocaust and after the way that Black people were tattooed and branded as cattle, I wasn't feeling it. But as I get
Yeah.
older, I said, you know what? I might do something. I might liberate myself and maybe get a small one. But if it's like you say, if there's a feel good to it, if there's some endorphins that fire, I'll be like,
there is.
Nails now all over the body. They're expensive too, aren't they?
Probably now more today, since everything is so much more expensive, that it probably is. It's been just about 3 years since I got my last one, and my last one was this that I got with my daughter.
Okay, so now what does that say?
That one says, it says, so this one here, it says, don't you ever tame your demons, but always keep them on a leash.
Wow.
So that's actually from a song from the artist Hosier.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And the song is called Arsonist Lullaby.
Oh, wow.
And when I first heard this song and I heard that line, for some reason, that line just reached out, almost like grabbing me by the throat. It just had a hold of me, and it really raised something emotional in me. And the demons to me wasn't anything, horrible, but throughout my life, dealing with depression, and even as a kid, I can remember being 10 years old or younger, just feeling constantly sad, and not knowing why, but just always feeling sad. And so I always had this image in my head of a dragon, that there was this dragon that kept haunting over me. And and it stuck with me for years and years and years. And I always thought of it as, this dragon is my depression. That's what it is I have this dragon lurking over me. And then just about 2.5 years ago, I had an absolute eureka moment, which was, the dragon is not my depression. The dragon is actually there to watch over me and protect me.
Okay.
And it was really strange how I came to that, because the image that I had, I mean, it's a picture in my head from when that I was little. And it's a dragon on a ledge, and there's a dark cave behind him. And he just stays on this ledge. And when he's quiet, he's just laying there, just a little smoke coming out his nose. And, he's just, but when I'm feeling the deepest and darkest and just sad, he is up, his arms are going, there's fire. And I always thought, he's just raging, I'm just sad and he's raging. But I realized something, because the cave behind him was always in my head. It was always dark and I couldn't see in it. So it was always scary of what's in there.
Right.
And it hit me that I realized that when I'm at my deepest and darkest and lowest feeling point, that's when he's out. And it almost felt like, no, wait a minute. He's telling everybody to get back, stay away.
So he's protecting you.
Oh, it just hit me. And it was.
So what, did it hit you in a meditation? Were you with a counselor? Did you have a dream? Just all of a sudden you had an aha moment driving down the street?
Yes. I was coming back from visit, and I was talking with my best friend on the phone, and we were talking about it, and I was just sad, and I told her, I said, God, my dragon is just raging right now. And then we just kind of started talking about it. And then I kind of just stopped and said, oh my God, wait, no, I get it. And that's when it hit me, and I realized it. And from that moment, that was a huge lifting of that, the heaviness that I always felt from that image, that dark, it lifted like that. Wow. It was gone.
Wow.
And then I thought, okay, now I know how to deal with this. I can deal with this.
Okay.
So
that darkness and that depression, did that lead you to your first unfortunate relationship? Tell us a little bit about that.
So I got married at 25, something like that. My ex-husband, he was unfortunately a drug user. I didn't know that. He was clean at the time.
Okay, now whoa, because I'm gonna stop you.
Okay.
Because people want to know. He was a drug user, so was he just like a pot smoker, or was he into more heavy drugs?
I didn't know he was into anything. He was a surfer. He was just out doing his thing. And then all of a sudden he changed and would disappear. And I realized he was actually into meth.
Ew.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Big oo.
yeah. Does he have any teeth left?
He does, he was
Okay.
real lucky
So
with that one.
how long did it go on? And again, Stephanie, you look like you're pretty hip and slick. It don't look like somebody can just pull the wool right over your eyes. How are you gonna be with a surfer that disappears and be on drugs? The money's got to be funny. The attitude's got to change. The physical composure's got to change. Were these things that you just chose now in hindsight to ignore and look over and gloss over because you were in love? Or were these really things that you had no idea? I can't imagine you being that green.
When he was clean, I knew he had a past, but I didn't know anything about drug use. I didn't know anything about addiction. I've never done that kind of stuff. So I didn't know anything about it.
What's your nationality? Are you Caucasian? You white?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, for the most part. Okay.
For the most part, yeah. We got
okay.
the Irish side and
yeah,
the Spanish side.
No, and I'm trying to lay the groundwork, brains. I know y'all. What do you answer that for? I'm just trying to lay the groundwork like a good prosecutor. No, but okay. So you get into this situation with this man, and then you find out. How'd you find out that he was doing drugs?
He was doing so good, and we had a really nice little life, and he was working, and things were great, and then something changed. And I didn't know what was happening. I couldn't figure out what the change. I never thought, oh, he's on drugs. And then he was gone, and his buddy actually called one day, and asked if he was there so they could go surfing. And I said, he didn't come home last night. And his words were, oh, well, I hope he's not on that stuff. And I said, what stuff? What are you talking about? And then he told me, and I was like, oh, come on, no, stop it, no. And sure enough, it was. And so at that point, as soon as I realized the depth of this and the danger involved, I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. And I called my dad and I said, hey, I need some help. I need to get out. And because I had my two daughters, and I said, I'm not going to have them around this. No way. Deal breaker. And so I took my two daughters and I moved. That was it.
Okay, but you said that you had a violent relationship. You had someone that was abusive to you. Was that after this marriage?
This was after.
Okay, so let's fast forward to that relationship.
Okay. That was definitely one that I knew better. I saw the signs and I truly ignored them.
I opened up my eyes and saw signs.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And it was I paid for that mistake.
Okay.
So,
now, again, going back to, you suffered from depression, you were sad, you were lonely, there was something you were longing for, something that you couldn't identify with, something that life just couldn't fill that void for you. And so you go and get into a relationship with somebody. You have two beautiful daughters by this person, and you find that they're living a double life. So now you see all the signs, and you're still maybe feeling a little, feeling in your feelings about yourself. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not worthy enough, but, maybe I'm pretty enough to, reel in a big fish. So you get with this player, and he's talking quick and slick and put the little Spengali on you. And then all of a sudden, he turns into the devil incarnated. What happened?
He did. He did. And like I said, I saw the signs that were there. But I also completely fed into all of the garbage that he was telling me, and I believed him. And so when we got into this relationship, I actually moved away from where I was living with my, because I had come back home. I was with my parents, and I actually moved away to go be with him. And I, when I realized once I got there that I had just stepped into a fire, it was really humiliating. It was, I never told my family because I fought for this. And I said, you guys are wrong. This is going to work. They didn't like him. I didn't listen. And
was there alcohol and drugs involved with him as well?
Alcohol, yes. Drugs, no.
Well, alcohol is.
He was
but
yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. He didn't have any existentials. Okay. So he put his hands on you though, huh?
He did. He did. And it was 4 years worth.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's actually how this side started. Because and I had a business at that time, and I had customers that would come in. I had a kennel, and so I had people coming in all the time, bringing their dogs, and I had set up this really wonderful business. And my customers would see marks on me, and I had, girl, I had every excuse in the book.
Wow.
Of where they came from, and that's how I started doing this, is to cover up bruises.
Oh, cover up bruises. That's awful. All right. So how did you break free? What was your aha moment then?
It was 4 years long. I knew I needed to get out. My daughter was in her senior year of high school. She said, Mom, I want to move out there with you. I said, thank you, Jesus. This is it. This is going to be what I need to get the heck out of here. And she moved out to, finish her senior year of high school where I was. And he kind of cooled his jets. She went back to Boston to go visit family. And it was one night that he was just being a real jerk and creating fights, because that's what they do. Narcissists will create fights. And it actually resulted in SWAT being called to my house. There was a damn near 4-hour SWAT standoff. It was a very, very.
Were you holding him hostage, or did he hold you hostage?
No, he was holding us. He was holding us, myself and his daughter, his younger daughter.
There was some mental illness, and then when he got that monkey oil in him, that just escalated it.
It did. It did.
Right. So you broke away from that relationship. How did you break free? How did you set up a plan to get free? Because I want this to be heard by other women that are in similar situations. You don't have to be there. Now, again, don't do anything that's going to put you or the kids in harm's way. But you got to come up with a strategy. And this is for men.
Absolutely.
There's men that are abused as well. So you have to think of a plan. 3-month, 6-month plan. Who do I trust? Who can I call? Who's not going to rat me out?
100%.
How am I going to keep my sanity? How am I going to keep my kids safe? and when is the perfect time to do this? There are programs, and at the back of the interview, I'm going to put an 800 number for any woman that needs help. But what you have to do is you got to find an ally first. You can't do it alone. If you can go to another state. Now, there's women that return because they don't have any money. They've been alienated from their families. Yeah. They have low self-esteem. They're depressed. Your abuser's already told you that you ain't nothing without him, because he's everything. He's going to control everything. He's going to control the food that you eat, and I control the roof over your head, and this and then sexually violate you, because at that point you don't want to have sex. At this point, it's rape. Okay,
correct.
But I don't want to do it, and here you come, drunk, slobbering, bouncing up on top of me, and if I don't satisfy you, then you slap me or hit me. Then you wake up in the morning, I was drunk, I didn't realize it, I'm sorry, and then the cycle continues all over again. Brains, is that sound familiar to anybody? It's time to get out. And there are programs that can help you. All right. But this is the coup de grace. You fall in love and marry a man that is incarcerated in prison. I'm not judging. I'm just asking. Inquiring minds want to know. Because I'm looking at, in my opinion, maybe going from the pot to the frying pan. Okay? That's not to say there's a plenty of love behind bars, men and women. But out of all the people, out of all the places, out of all the things that you've been through, that just seems like a very interesting choice. How'd that happen?
It was totally by accident, as far as human wise, but because I absolutely 100% without a doubt believe that was totally God intervening. Because I think for so long I prayed and I prayed and I said, please just help me find a way to get out of this. I didn't know how to do it. I was still too embarrassed to tell my family. I was still going through stuff. And so I was actually on the phone with my best friend one night. She knew kind of what was going on, but she did not know the extent of it. And she said to me, you need a friend.
Is this the same best friend from the last situation you were in that you were talking to? Because you mentioned your best friend before when you were in the volatile situation.
Oh, no.
Okay, you got a new best friend since then?
Well, so I've got my pack of girls.
Okay, all right.
I just got my little girl posse. Yes. So so I was talking to my girlfriend, and we would talk every single night. She didn't know the extent of things because, again, I did not tell anybody what was happening. I had gotten to the point where I was self-harming. I had come very, very close many times to just saying, that's it, I'm done, I'm checking out. And we were talking that night, and she said to me, you need a protector. You need a good guy friend. I said, I don't need any guy for anything, for anyone. I don't want to talk about men. And she said, no, I'm just talking about just somebody. Like, don't you miss somebody being nice to you? Don't you miss hearing that you're amazing and that you're beautiful and that, that someone loves you and, you're worth something? Don't you miss that? And I said, well, I do, but that'll come. And she said, I have an idea. And it kind of did this back and forth. Let me call you right back. And it was her friend that she had known for many years that was incarcerated.
Okay.
His cellie.
Oh boy.
Was who they introduced me to.
Oh boy.
And it was just, I told her, I finally was like, fine, whatever. But I'm not looking for anybody. I'm already trying to get out of this situation. I don't need any more drama in my life. And I certainly don't need someone in prison.
Okay.
Well, he absolutely turned out to be a godsend and really helped lift me up during those, because she told him what was going on. I did not tell him. she told him what was happening, and she basically ratted me out. And he kind of said, friends, I'm here if you need to talk, as much as he can be. And there were just those times where I was so low and just at the point where I just said, I can't go on anymore. I can't do this anymore. And
but you know what? You know what some people would say? That's a part of the grooming. Okay. Predator, and I'm not calling a man a predator, so tell him don't be in his feelings. But I'm saying, I'm saying it, that's a part of the grooming. Okay. You are he. You need some money on your books. You need your commissary. You need somebody that's going to talk sweet to you, that you can write to, that's going to write to you, that you can call, send you some tennis shoes. I got that. I've got family members that have been incarcerated. So I get all of that. And then you got this young, pretty white girl that is on the outside. She got a great job. She's vivacious. Her girlfriend is co-signing on this. To me, I don't know.
Risky.
Like I said, I don't know. Risky. It's more than risky. It's dangerous.
Oh yeah.
It's dangerous because I'm gonna tell you, they don't have nothing but time in incarceration, in jail, but to think, but to plot and to plan and to get smarter. Brains, the most brilliant people are behind bars.
Absolutely, 100%.
My nephew taught me how they make coffee in their cell, and how they make shanks, and how they do this and how they do that. So they're very, very intuitive. But also, the mindset of a person that is encaged changes. It changes. So to have an outlet, like I said, a pretty young thing like you, can be very enticing, and they put the Spengali on you. Now here you are, you've been victimized 1, 2, 3 times, and you fall for this guy. Okay. And I don't want to go too much into his business, but he, from what you've explained to me, got put up on these charges because he caught his spouse in a indiscretion. Okay. So it had to been escalated to a certain point, because you don't go to jail, just for calling her a bitch. It got escalated. All right. And I understand that. Did that have any bearing, or did that raise any red flags with you? Any concern when you heard the story? Did you say, maybe I'm headed down a slippery slope? Or were you just in it all in? I'm just trying to get the mindset here.
So in the beginning, I went into it with just, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for a man, especially a man incarcerated. He never asked me for money. He never asked me for anything. Never asked anything of me.
But see, that's the quick and slick. They don't have to ask you. They get you all into that, that you this and you pretty and you this, and it just makes you want to give. Well, you didn't ask me. I know you didn't ask me, but here, let me go ahead and put this on your books. Let me do this, because that's how we are.
I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't even know that was a thing.
But you learned. But you learned. Then eventually you learned. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying how women get caught up. Now I'm gonna get off your case and let you sit on this. Let me tell you how I got caught up in a situation, just randomly. So I'm working at this corporation, right? And I'm suited and booted. Every day I'm looking like brand new money. And the guys down in the warehouse were really super cool. They would get my packages out. They would give me my tracking numbers. They make sure that my customers was happy. They make me a priority. So one day I said, you know what? You guys are so sweet. Miss April's going to take you to lunch. They said, okay, we'll drive. So I go down. Girl, I had on my red bottom shoes that day. So where we going? Woo! They said, we're going to go get some tacos. So I get in the car, and I'm looking around in the car. Now, again, I'm from South Central LA. I know, okay? Mother has lived. I know a whole lot of stuff. Seen a whole lot of stuff. Good, bad, and indifferent. I'm seeing zigzags. I'm seeing Crown Royal bags. I'm seeing the seats all stained up. I look, there's a condom wrapper. And I'm like, I turned to the guy that's driving. I said, wow. I said, you're doing the most. And we're driving out the driveway. And he goes, yeah. He says, I am doing the most. He said, and I just to let you know, if the police pull us over, I'm going to let them know that the guns and the drugs in the trunk are yours. I said, I thought we was going to get tacos. I didn't know I was with some bona fide criminals. Okay. The whole face composure changed. This was not the same little sweet guys that was down in the mailroom. These was hardcore gangsters at this point. I'm married to Mr. Magnificent. Number one, what am I doing in the car with these guys? How am I going to explain that? Girl, I was a nervous wreck. My heart was beating fast. So we get to the taco shop. Needless to say, I told him I was walking back. I walk back. 2 weeks later, the FBI comes in. They trafficking drugs and money out of the mailroom.
Oh my God.
But see how easy you can get caught up? And you see how easy somebody can flip on you? That's not your situation. But again, it's the Spengali. You got to be
it's absolutely
top
real.
of your game. You got to be knowing. You got to be listening. If it doesn't feel right, smell right, taste right, it ain't right. Okay.
100%.
It's like a predator for a sexual assault, or date rape, or a pedophile. They groom you. They don't just go in on the attack. Oh, this is what I'm about, because you're gonna resist. But let me warm up to you. Let me get you to like me. Let me get you to trust me. Then next, you're gonna want to do things because you liking what I'm saying. Okay, now back to you. So you get in a situation. But you get in this situation, okay, and you with this guy, and then all of a sudden, you fall in love. How did you fall in love?
I think it was very quiet. It was very gradual. It was very I was very guarded, very reserved.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want anything to do with love, and I think just being at the lowest that I was at, and even just one day having a really bad day and sharing with him that I just can't do this anymore. And I remember he said to me one day, just in the midst of an absolute ultimate meltdown, and just knowing the trail of wreckage that I had left behind in my wake. And he said to me, I understand if you don't love yourself anymore, but he says, I've got enough love to carry you through. And he says, if you can't get up, if you don't have the strength to go on, he says, my arms are big enough, my shoulders are wide enough, I can carry you until you can stand on your own. He's talking emotionally. And it really just breathed life, little by little, breathed life back into me. And to go from this scared of everybody now, and letting people walk all over me, take advantage of me, and just shying and turning the other cheek, he said to me, that practice is going to end today. You are strong. You are, and I had nothing. I had sold my businesses. I had nothing to my name. And he said, you're going to keep going. He says, you're strong. You're amazing. You're an amazing mother. You're going to do this. You are not going to give up. You're going to do this. And if you need me, I'm here. And we just did.
So he's your coach. He's your motivator.
He absolutely was motivated.
I get that. Okay, I get that. But what I also see, just merely an observation, is that he's not there with you day to day. He's not there with you moment by moment. He's not there, it's great for a phone call,
It was hard.
Will you take this call from this, individual, blah, 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 blah. And, and he's loving and he's wanting and he's needing, yeah, he's got tons of love for you. I don't deny any of that. But it's a different situation when you imano, right there. So,
True.
So there's a little less liability. All right. So you go through
True.
this. You fall in love with them. And this is what you feel, that this is what good love feels like to you. Everybody's feelings is different. This is what warms your heart. This is what excites you. This is what gives you wet dreams. I ain't mad at you. But it's okay. It's all right. Okay.
Real talk.
But as we progress, okay, it's a long time in between time. Okay. And then all of a sudden he put the smack down on you and he said, baby, will you be mine? Will you marry me? And you said yes.
I did.
Why did you say yes? Now you're married now, right?
We are married. We have been married for 7.5 years.
What?
We've actually been together for, this December will be 10 years.
That's a long, that's commitment. That's commitment. And a lot of women brains, there's a lot of women that fall in love with inmates. A lot of them. Me?
Do they fall in love, or are they lusting and they're looking at an image of this bad boy and all this other stuff?
Yeah, well, they're doing a whole lot of stuff. Number one, they being tricked up. Number two, they trafficking drugs in and out the jail, sneaking cell phones, dealing with the baby's mama, doing whatever else they can. But they also, can be cruelly treated and disrespected, but they caught up in the love. So it depends. Everybody's situation is different. But all of them don't end up favorably. And women do flip, and they get flipped on, should I say.
I've seen it.
And this is this, and again, Stephanie, I'm just saying this for the person that's sitting out there saying, girl, I wouldn't do this and I wouldn't do that. You a lie. You done did something. You done been caught up. Okay. Somebody done tricked you up into something. You was in the car like me going to get tacos and ended up with some dealers and shit. So things happen. I get you. But does your friend ever talk to you about being cautious? What do your daughters say? You are setting a pattern. You are setting a platform. You are setting a standard of excellence. A certain, all mothers are not going to go for that. My daughter this or my daughter that, or my mother this or my mother that, or my stepfather this or my stepfather that, or my biological father. There's a lot of trauma. Trauma that is generational, that's come because it went to you. And now your daughters are looking at this. Well, we done seen these 3 situations. How do we proceed? What did they say? And what are you saying to them?
In the beginning, it was tough. And again, when he and I first started talking, it was just strictly, this is just a friend. This is just, a good guy friend to just kind of be there and, do the, you got this, girl, kind of a thing.
Right. I told you he's the coach.
And
he's the coach.
He did. He was really amazing, and he's so very, very smart. He's extremely smart. He reads the most incredible books that I just look at and say, "What the heck, really?"
Because time is their friend.
Absolutely.
Time is your friend. It's like my husband's going to retire and he's ticking off days like they ticking off days of when they're going to be released. But there's a lot of trauma that he's experiencing as well that he doesn't share with you. Living in that cell, in that confined area for all those many years.
And we've talked about that.
Okay. There's a psychological trigger, there's something that goes off. There's going to be PTSD because the reacclimation into society within itself. He's going to come out with, am I good enough? Can I get that job? Am I going to be able to support her? I'm going to be with her 24/7. Is she going to love me? You know, the homeboys that you used to hang with. Of course, you're going to go back to, you got to go back to your circle. Well, you don't want to. Okay. All right. All right. Don't. All right. And I get that. Probably won't. But they'll reach out to him, rather he reaches out to them. Oh, you know, XYZ, you know, he's out, man. Did you know? And you know, he ain't been out in 10 years. Let's go roll and see him and blah, 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 blah. They'll have the same conversation. So it is a lot of adjustment. I mean, and you talked about, you said you've been together 10 years and 7 years married. There's going to be a lot of, you know, things. There might be counseling that you can go through while you're in the program, might be counseling you can go through outside of the program, but it's a whole different thing when you don't have the counselor and you just got that person that is depending on you. And an air of skepticism and an air of, you know, fear. Did I make the right choice? Did he make the right choice in choosing you? Is this going to work? There's a whole lot. And, you know, again, my hat's off to you, sister, because you got courage. You got courage. See, I don't have courage. I'm out. No, I'm out.
And that's just something that I never had been told before, is that I have courage, because I never thought that I had courage.
Yeah, you do.
And then actually getting into this type of a dynamic with somebody that's incarcerated. I did not have the support of my family in the beginning when I said, we're now actually talking. We are seeing each other. And this is someone I want to pursue. I did not have the support in the beginning. Now, with that, I said, I totally, completely understand. I get it. I was just in a horrible, horrible situation, and now I'm in this. I get it.
No. Let me ask you a question. Did you get it or did you want it? Two totally different things. You know,
what do you
you say, I get it. I get it. I know I was in this bad situation.
Oh, yeah.
I was traumatized, and now I'm you know, in love and gonna marry someone that's incarcerated. Did you get it, or did you want it?
I did get it. And again, there was a lot of still just very low self-esteem. There was still a lot of trauma response in engaging with him in certain conversation, and he was able to completely change my mindset from this timid little get taken advantage of, just all this stuff, to someone who absolutely 100% today can stand on her own 2 feet without anybody, period.
But let's stop right there, because he didn't do that. You did that. Let's be real clear here. Okay, he might have, you know, took you from a flicker, but you're the one that raised the flame. You have overcome. You have adapted. You've got a great job. You got a great career. You're looking like brand new money. Okay, and now you are in the situation. So I don't give him credit for that. I give you credit for that. Like I said, there's always a coach, but you gotta have somebody, you gotta have somebody on the team. You gotta have a
True.
Hey,
that's all right.
All right. So I'm into this football analogy. I'm looking at, you know, Colorado State and that fine ass Deion Sanders girl. He got the Spengali on me through the TV. But he's fine. He's handsome. He's arrogant. But he's a motivator. He's a shit talker. He's a Maca. You know, that's what we used to call back in South Central LA. If somebody put the Mac on you, conversation. Because conversation is key. That's what gets in your mind. That's why people like to write letters, because you have, or do they text you? Because you have their undivided attention. They go into where you're going into. But again, he's a coach, but he can't coach unless there's a team. Now you're in this love relationship. We want to know, girl, what goes on in a conjugal visit? What does that? I want to know. Well, you see it on TV and you see and people say you're not supposed to touch and you don't do this. When you're married, how are you? How do you consummate your relationship?
We have not had a family visit.
Shut the front door.
We have not had a family visit. So I know.
He must have one hell of a conversation on the phone because at 7 years, oh, wait. How you even know you're going to like it? I'm just saying.
And we talk about those things, and that's just one of those things I just leave in God's hands, and I say, hey, look,
Wow.
This is something I just
that's big on you. That's big on him.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And all this time you have not had one intimate thing. How did you get married? You went there and got married to the institution?
It was in the visiting room. And all the families and everybody that was in visiting, everybody, was there, and we just go up to the front where we would go take our picture, and we had somebody who.
And he's in his did they let him put on a suit, or did he have to wear his?
Nope, he's in his scrub top and his chambray pants. He's CDCR, so they wear the chambray pants and then the blue scrub top.
Okay. And so now he's in there, this is another thing that concerns me, is this supposed rehabilitation. You have to, the women here, I sent some sanitation to, because I didn't know in the women's prison that they couldn't have tampons and sanitary napkins. They had to pay for those out of their commissary. They don't give them that.
Oh, really?
Oh, wait, there's a privatized jail, right? So I go to my friends at Procter & Gamble. I get all this stuff. I send it to them. Them frogs sent it back to me. They wouldn't allow them to have it.
No kidding.
So just basic human dignity. My nephew has been incarcerated on and off since he was 8 years old.
Oh.
Did not know how to use a washing machine. I sent it to the laundromat. He didn't know how to use it. He didn't know how to open a mailbox. He's been in and out of incarceration because he does not know how to survive. Okay, it's tough out here. $1,700 in California for a 1-bedroom. And you have been absent from society for 10 years. You got a felony. How do you talk through that to get someone to trust you, to give you a job? And then, you're going to work extra hard, but you still got that fight or flight mentality, because prison is not for punks.
Nope.
Okay. Every day somebody gonna try to shank you, steal you, lie from you. Something. The only thing they can't take is your wife. But then there's other situations there where there's people that rape you, or you're a rapist. You always got to be on guard. The prisoners always got to be on guard. So there's a lot to overcome, and just say, oh, okay, and then I got to get to know this woman. I got to feel her skin. I got to know she can cook. I gotta know how she feels when she really gets angry, because there's only so angry that you're gonna get, because you don't really want to escalate to that point, because he's there, and you in your feelings, and you feel in a certain kind of way. But when he gets out and you face to face and he do something that you don't like, and you go all ham, he's not gonna recognize this person. It's a lot to consider, ladies, all ladies, not just Stephanie. Like I said, Stephanie just has the courage to, come forth and kind of open our eyes to this. Like I said, if you like it, I love it, baby. I ain't got no problem with it. But there would be certain things that I would consider, and that he needs to consider when you come back and when you come together, because it's a long time. So let's ask you some fun things about you. If you were an appliance in the kitchen, Stephanie, what appliance would you be and why?
What appliance would I be? I would be a blender.
Everybody wants to be a doggone blender.
You know
I
why?
want to be a blender. Yeah, why?
Because I can make a hell of a good margarita, girl.
Oh, shoot. I just had one. Maybe that's why I'm on one. I want to be a refrigerator because I just want to chill. I just want to chill. Nice and easy. Keep it cool. No pressure. I can put the freeze to you if I need to, or I can thaw you out. Either one.
Yep.
If you had 3 magical wishes, anything, what would they be?
My 3 magical wishes would be that my daughters stay happy. All 3 of them are married. They have absolutely fabulous husbands. I have gained 3 amazing sons, and I feel so blessed and happy for them. I would wish the absolute world to my grandbabies because they are just, oh, don't anybody mess with my grandbabies, because nobody's ever seen anybody angry like an angry May May.
Okay, well, I know. honey daddy ain't seen an angry May May.
Yeah.
And what's your third one?
My third one would definitely be, I guess it's more of a prayer than it is just a wish, but just to continue to have the relationship that I have, that is where if we have something we have to talk about, we talk about it. We both are very respectful when we talk to each other. Before we got married, we talked about what his expectations of me were. We talked about what my expectations of him are and will be. We talk about how we're going to handle certain situations if one or the other gets angry. And
until it happens, okay, because it depends on what it is. It depends on what it is. If you come home, I'm not gonna put it on him. If you come home on meth, drunk, hitting him, it ain't gonna be like you think it's gonna be, because folks get ugly. But what I didn't hear you say is one of my wishes would have him here with me. Now I know that is it. Don't get me wrong, but I heard other people's happiness again came before your own. Just an observation here.
Yeah.
So putting yourself first sometime is okay. It's all right for you to drive the car. Speaking of cars, if you were a car, what kind of car would you be?
I would be the 2-seater Jaguar.
Dude. Quick and slick, little, petite.
That's what I'm getting. That's the one that I've been looking at, and I'm just like, okay.
Is it hybrid or is it gas?
No, it's gas.
It's gas.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a woman driving a Jaguar. That's going to be a big expectation. That's going to be a lot for him to come back and not compete with, but share with, because you want somebody that's evenly yoked, and you don't want someone saying, "Oh, okay, well, now I'm the self-made woman," and dot 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 dot. So you're gonna have to change your vernacular. You're gonna have to tone it down. You're gonna have to be, equal, or at least I would think that. But then maybe not. I don't know. Things are different. If you were a flower in the garden, Stephanie, what flower would you be?
A gardenia.
They smell very pretty.
They're just that smell of gardenias it's just, It just makes me happy.
I know. I planted some in my garden, and when that breeze blows,
And you get that, oh,
it's
it's
just
just
a
beautiful.
beautiful effort.
I love gardenias.
Okay, so you're gonna go into the tattoo shop next week and get a new tattoo. What would it be?
What would it be? Well, the one that he has actually been working on, and we've discussed it quite a bit, is when I had this massive revelation of my dragon. I told him, I want a dragon. I want a dragon tattoo. You know, I don't want no crazy, crazy looking one, but I want a dragon tattoo. And I have the image in my head of what I want, and it's the dragon with its wing around me.
Oh, so you're
It's
gonna get
got
a
its
big
wing
one.
around.
So it's gonna come all the way down the side and around.
It's gonna maybe be on my thigh, or maybe I'll put it on my side. Maybe I'll put it on my back. I'm, not sure yet. Not sure yet, but that's what I want. That is definitely the next one I want. But I asked him to draw it for me.
Okay, when you say him, you talking about your husband?
Yes.
He's an artist.
Yes. Yeah.
Does he have tattoos?
He does.
Okay. Because again, like I said, tattoos tell a story.
He's got a lot of them. In fact, he has my name here. He's got my portrait on his arm, and that was all done after we got married. I said, don't do anything before we get married.
And my nephew has a teardrop from where he's hurt someone, and his gang affiliation tattooed on his neck like a dog collar.
Oh,
I tell he can't roll with me because that's a target on your back. I don't need you to have your set, on that. But these are markings of your life that people judge people by.
Mm-hmm.
They tell your story. People are afraid of that. They don't know that's a way of self-expression. They look at it as a way of self-mutilation.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they don't look as beautiful. I mean, you're a fair-skinned Caucasian woman. You can see the colors. Sometimes you can't see the colors. Sometimes you can actually see the pain.
Yeah.
I thank you and your husband for being here virtually, and really your honesty and your integrity, your courage. I pray a blessing of abundance upon you and him. That you are there, that when you do it, that he, break your back. that you bring smiles to each other's face, and that that the universe and society allows him to re-enter, make the acclamations, make the adjustments, but also for a heightened sense of awareness for you that you're tuned in, that it's not just a need, but it's an actual want, it's a desire, it's something that's going to make you feel good, because you deserve that. You've been through a lot already, and so you deserve happiness and a jaguar. Tell my brains how to get in contact with you if they want to have a conversation with you. I don't know if you're open to that. Do you have a program?
Absolutely.
The story, an email address?
They can either contact me by email or on my Instagram. My Instagram is at Success with Steph C.
Success.
So they can reach out to me there as well.
Okay. All right. Close it up right now. So, Brains, thank you again, Stephanie, for being here with me and my Brains on the Edge. Brains, I need you to go in and love, like, share, and subscribe. Again, love, like, share, and subscribe. You got questions? As long as they're respectful, you're trying to get some information, you're trying to raise your game, elevate your game, get clarity, meet you an inmate.
I don't recommend
it. Give Stephanie a call. Thank you so much, Precious. Again, like I said, I wish abundance of blessings in you, your man, and your life. All right.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if anybody needs to reach out to me, they absolutely can. They can either reach me through email, or they can go on to my Instagram account at Success with Steph C. And I'd be absolutely more than happy to speak with anybody who needs to.
Well, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Check it out, Brains. Like I said, if you just need an equalizer, you just need somebody to bounce something off of, that'll be great. Thank you again, Stephanie. Talk to you soon, baby. Bye, Brains.
Sounds good. Thank you, April.